Hello guys, welcome to a Train Parrot. We're gonna do a quick update on Cardano. We got 3 news. One of them is actually sounding a bit bearish. I want to share it with you. With the recent swing low, we left a bunch of liquidity that I want you to be aware that is the current risk. We'll cover what could happen if we exit from the area of the squeeze where we are. How high can we go if Bitcoin continues the rally? Guys, if you like this type of content, make sure that you're subscribed to the channel. Hit the notification bell to get notified every time I put out one of these videos. It's gonna be about 2 weeks that I change into this new format where I cover specific coins per video, doing a quick but actually in-depth analysis frequently so you can stay up to date with the top market caps and not just Bitcoin. If you support the initiative, make sure that you continue to hit the like and writing down below comments. That definitely helps convincing YouTube that I'm not just creating fancy AI thumbnails. Alright, let's go straight into the weekly time frame. And there are 2 things that are standing out that I'm not sure people are noticing. Number 1 is that we are inside a squeeze. If we connect the area in here, thanks to Trump tweet, where in a single week we move almost over 100% from that high into the low. We are kind of respecting this area in here. But from the low end, we get a similar picture. We are actually defending the area of 0.50 cents. Every single week, we have managed so far to close above 53 cents. And if we look into the left, we can see that that is an area that was respected as resistance. And ideally, we can turn it into a triple bottom, holding that as support without necessarily losing it. The consequence of doing this persistent move every time at the same level, that 50 to 51 cents, is that we should be expecting to see an increase in liquidity. After all, from here we got some longs going up, from here further longs, and from here further longs, each one of them each time adding up to the liquidity pool that we're gonna look in just a minute. The question is that pool going to be that heavy that prevents the breakout from the squeeze to the upside? Do we have pending a rejection from the resistance and clearing out that liquidity that is getting too heavy before we break out? I guess that is where we should be lifting the carpet and seeing what kind of crap is hidden underneath. Let's go next with the RSI, then we're gonna look into the longs versus shorts, the social dominance, and all those goodies. Well, Cardano had clearly a breakout in here, but that was in the beginning of May, and since then, unfortunately, we have taken the lows right after a hidden bullish divergence. So that's a complete failure. The plan of this breakout to go into the top of the range once again, just like it did 2 times, it failed. It's not the only coin that has underperformed. After all, Sui that had amazing performance on the RSI as well, up and up. Then on the third leg, it puked to the downside together with Bitcoin thanks to the geopolitical tensions and those rate cuts running away from us. So what we need now Cardano to do is to regain that lost support and to stop hitting every single support as a resistance and then going for 1 layer down and 1 layer down clockwise. That is definitely bear market behavior. So we need to convince investors that we are actually forming a bullish divergence in here against the price. Unfortunately, we cannot produce a bullish divergence with the close of the price anymore. We just have almost equal lows, so that could constitute a bullish divergence as long as in here we have a pivot. To get a pivot, we really need to break out the line first. So it's a tough one at the moment for Cardano. I have to admit, there is a bunch of challenges in front of us. Let's look at the longs versus shorts. The area of value is around 29. It will be fantastic to retest this. We are not overcrowded at all. We are at 38. Just recently we went at 84, so definitely there has been a flash of longs. If we manage to get into 30, that will be a massive opportunity. And of course, if that happens, we're gonna talk about it in this channel. That's why you should be subscribed and making sure that if you have a favorite coin, you go into playlists in my channel and you're gonna find independent playlists lists for each individual coin so you can follow easily with what actually matters to you. Now going into the social dominance, we can see that Cardano has been peaking multiple times around the 4% across all coins in all social networks. Getting 4% of attention is pretty significant, not as high as Ethereum can do. Ethereum can go even to 90% like we can see in here in 2021, although in this cycle it's been really quiet for Ethereum so far. When it comes to Cardano, at the moment we are at 2.5, so it's not too overheated, but we are definitely gaining momentum, being above the median and getting closer and closer to the top end. Something is calling the attention in social media about Cardano. It could be a combination of the price action that is pretty miserable, as you can see on the right hand side of the screen. We got the performance in negative pretty much in 6 out of 6. Just the yearly that is up, but the rest is all in red. Let's look at the liquidation levels. Here is where I'm seeing some significant things. If we continue, if Bitcoin fail the breakout and to put an all-time high, we can put on the table a potential move to clear this liquidity that was left pending. We talk about 3 buckets on Cardano. Bucket number 1 at 60, 2 at 56, and the third at 50. We took 2 so far out of 3, but this one was just slightly pinched, just 10% gone, and the rest is still pending in this area. It declines sharply into 44, 46, and on the daily you can see that we are gaining momentum in this area. We don't have bullish divergence, but we have lows below 30 and we are approaching the area for the breakout. The setup on the daily is a breakout from here into the next resistance of 65 RSI. That probably is gonna put us very close to the area of resistance out of this triangle. If Bitcoin puts an all-time high, I will almost take for granted that at the very least we get into the resistance. A more bullish setup is to hit the liquidity levels that we have from 86 into 92 cents. If we get into that motivation, we are stepping into the golden pocket. From the 50 retracement to 61.8, which perfectly matches the area of most liquidity when we enable any of the pools literally. The degens, the 3, the 5x's, they are pretty much all located around this area. So in a nutshell, we have all this risk slightly below 50 cents. If things fail, we could clear that level and get very close to the technical target of the head and shoulders that we took in previous videos, which is actually 40 cents. But if Bitcoin ends up having a summer rally, then we're looking into a conservative target against the trend line that we just lost. That's a revenge rally on the daily, and a little bit more bullish target into 90 cents. If we really can get into an altcoin season from July and on, look at my recent videos. I think on Sunday and maybe Tuesday or Monday I also cover the USDT dominance versus total free dominance, and I cover a bunch of other charts indicating, even with fractals, that we could be seeing some positiveness for the altcoins in the upcoming months. Of course, nothing is for granted. After all, we've been all year calling for an altcoin season, which is never coming. But hey, if it comes this time when everybody's saying it won't come, we could get over $1 back again. There's plenty of liquidity to attract the price from here. So let's answer the question, what is driving this social dominance from 1.5% into 2.5%, getting closer to the all-time highs of social dominance for Cardano? For that, let's go into ChatGPT Model 3, and we're getting 3 news. 2 are bullish, 8 out of 10, 7 out of 10, and we got a bearish one, 3 out of 10. The most bullish one is that Cardano is unveiling the next wave of layer 2 innovations beyond Hydra. And there's a bunch of flocky things that are going on in the network, which I don't have to pretend I know what I'm talking about, because I cannot care anything about fundamentals, but it's good to know what is driving retail to think that this is worth investing in. And since it's qualified as an 8, it's got the potential to bring people in to move the price into our targets. If you haven't noticed, you are in a trading channel. If you enter entered the wrong door. Don't worry, just leave the door closed. Don't make so much noise when you're leaving. The third news is a 7 out of 10. It says that the whales quietly add 310 million ADA in June. That's $5.5 million bought on 25th of June. I don't know, 5.5 million doesn't sound that much to me to really be such a bullish news. Anyways, large holder accumulation after precedes multi-week rebounds, steady smart money inflows offset retail weakness. Sure, fine. Let's look into the bearish one that says the main net congestion incident after large reference scripts. So it seems that there was some resilience during the drop in the throughput of the network, but there's still a perception hit, particularly considering with the competition how good it can really perform. But to be honest, most of the networks get their moment where they go down. Just think about the times where Sui was in trouble, Solana, and the list goes on, and they still pump and they do good things. Anyways, just trying to add my 2 cents in terms of fundamentals. Let's look into CryptoQuant and let's see if we find something interesting in here. Well, I'm seeing a lot of green at the moment when I look at the panel with the summary. We got the spot volume bubble map is cooling, so we are not in a bubble. Well, that's pretty obvious. It's been in the red. Spot taker CBD. The taker is in buy mode at the moment. Big whales are accumulating in futures. We are in neutral in terms of futures volume, and the taker buy is also dominant across futures. So this is looking decently good in the short term. Of course, these numbers can change overnight. It's meant to be a summary of the last 24 hours. We are gonna find it useful one day if we are finding an entry. We are discussing that entry. We're always gonna have it as part of the checkboxes. You can also use this information if you are in a long to feel a bit more confident of holding for longer and stuff like that. And that's why I should be putting updates very frequently so you stay up to date. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.